Hi, everybody. This is your girl, Dawn Paul, a.k.a. the Dr. Dawn, your certified life coach. And my prescription is my words. I ain't said that in so long. Y'all, it's been a long, I ain't said that in so long. Oh, my God. Hello, Quentin, Doughboy Dunn. Thank y'all for joining. I'm telling y'all, we have not even gotten into this conversation yet. And we already have some good comments. But let me introduce my people. I got to tell you, and can I say my people? Yeah, because it's more than that, I tell you. But I have to introduce first and foremost, Big Sarge. Can I say that?
Oh, of course.
You knew the couch was gonna be red hot. You decided to mash it. I love it. How are you?
I'm doing good. I can't complain
Yeah.
at all. I'm just glad that I'm able to sit here and sit upright so I can suck my stomach in for the show.
We all are. That's what Spanx is. That's what Spanx is for. I think men, they make Spanx for men too.
They surely
Don't
do.
worry about that. Yeah. But Big Sarge is a media personality. You see him sporting the Stros. But he's a media personality, and he is representing the widowers.
Yes.
How do you date a widower? How do you date a widower?
Carefully.
Yeah.
Very carefully.
Yeah,
So,
very carefully. It's a process. He's fine. He's black. He's here, but
I drink water.
yeah. But is he ready to date? So he's going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Ladies, you can't make him forget about his Mila. Mila, right?
yeah, Mila.
So y'all, we're going to have to work through that too. So we're going to talk about that, real talk. And then we have Demez White, relationship author, writer, blogger, just one of the most awesome brothers, I think, when it comes to relationships, who gives great insight. Dating, it was not a match made in heaven at first, was it not? Did y'all think y'all would be married with a baby now?
Love at first sight.
It was? Yeah, I mean, you never know who.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It's not a fairy tale.
Yeah.
But it ended as a fairy tale.
Yeah.
So I don't have any complaints.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I hope not. No.
Yeah.
And if you do, hey, it is what it is. But we'll talk. That's another show. Thank you, Demez. But no, Totally Randy will be joining us on another show and later on this month. I love her. That's my sister, sister girl. We don't throw sister around, and we'll talk about that show later. But Demez is going to give great insight on relationships, and he's now a father too. So yeah. And then we have Gary. He owns fear, yeah, but that ain't why he's here, y'all.
Yeah.
This brother is insightful when it comes to relationships. He sat on relationship panels before. We got Gary Lee. Dope brother. He hosts several shows, right? And he's one of the smartest brothers I know. Can I say that?
I appreciate that.
I think you
That's
are.
fine. Thank you so much.
Because it really
I'm
didn't
honored.
matter. If you owned it, I would have just said, these are my guests, and we'll see you later. For real.
Exactly.
But he does have some things to add. And then we have another guest coming on later. But ladies, we are going to be talking about when you are with a brother, brothers dating a woman with children, or women dating a man with kids. We're going to be talking about all these topics. We're going to have conversation. It's not going to be me just sitting here asking them questions and yeah, we're going to have real talk. So the first thing is, I want to know mistakes you made mistakes men make in relationships. And then I want to talk mistakes women make in relationships. Let's start with you, Big Sarge.
I think one of the mistakes that I made early on when I was, you mean when I first started dating or when I was married to Mila?
It doesn't matter.
Well,
I believe we all make mistakes. We're all going to continue to make mistakes.
Well,
but I mean the big ones. Like, what are the major relationship mistakes you've made or you see men making?
Oh, right off the rip, I was selfish. Oh, I was very selfish before. I was selfish all the way up to the point till I got married.
Wow.
And so I had to go back. I actually apologized to as many women as I could that I dated and told them I was selfish. I was all about me.
Wow.
And when I met Mila, Mila had 4 kids from a previous relationship. So me being with her, I was like, that's all of me right there. That's all of my time. I'm not going to have anything for myself. But it turned out to be one of the best things. And it's what God showed me that I needed.
Yeah.
Because before I made decisions based off of what was good for me, not what was good for somebody else's daughter, sister, friend. I didn't care nothing about that. I was like, at the end of the day, do I feel good? And if I feel good, I didn't really care about how you felt.
Wow.
And that was one of the biggest mistakes, one of the things that I learned and that I was convicted of, like I said, up until the point, because I got married. I had just graduated basic training from Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And right before I graduated and right before I got married, the week leading up to it is when I started seeing all this. And he started telling me, I took you through this. I wanted you to see this because you are a very selfish individual, and that's not the plan I have for you.
Wow. Ooh, that's good stuff. Demez, either relationship mistakes you made or what that you see men making.
I'll talk about myself.
Okay.
I don't like to listen to people. And when you're in a relationship and then you're married, that is not a good trait to have.
Oh my God.
My entire life, I've always looked at it like, if I'm gonna succeed or fail, it's gonna be because of what I did.
Yeah.
And when you're in a relationship and somebody's trying to build with you,
Yeah.
and they're giving you good advice,
Yeah.
but in your mind, you like, I don't want this to go wrong, and then I'm resent her, I'm mad at her because I took her advice and I could have used my own advice. You can't look at life like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because when you're single and you out here doing things, it's easy to say, all right, cool, I failed, and that's on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't. What I didn't want to happen was to have my wife look at me and I'm looking at her like, yeah, this is your fault.
Yeah.
When it could have went wrong anyway.
Yeah.
And just throughout our relationship, I just kept doing that. I kept finding myself kind of pushing her away from my inner circle and my business dealings. And it might not seem like a lot, but you can't have a marriage where you're living in this world and she living in this world.
Right.
When she has the expertise to help you. And you just kind of pushing her away like, nah, just go be a mom, be a wife.
Yeah.
And once I kind of accepted that, you know what, she's smart, like she's good at this. Hey, man, it changed my life.
Yeah.
So.
But she's a good woman, though. You can't listen. Every woman is not. Yeah. And we gonna talk about it. Gary, eyes got big.
You saw my eyes pick up?
Yeah, Gary's
like,
hold on.
I
Because
mean,
look, like I say, she's sexy, but she has no substance.
come on.
She's pretty, but she has no purpose. She's fine, but she ain't favored.
Come on.
Y'all better. I'm telling you.
It's heavy.
She looks good. Yeah.
It's heavy.
She looks good, but and that may be good for a one night stand and all that. But are you gonna walk that down the aisle?
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
Gary, you mistakes.
Oh, I'm
in
still making
relationships?
them. I mean,
That's why you. I mean,
every text message I send, I'm like, is this right? Is this wrong? But it's, it's complicated.
Yeah.
And that's the
why
thing.
is it complicated?
Because as a man, you're trying to decide what you want for the rest of your life and what are you doing at this moment to better you. Going back to what Big Sarge said earlier, like you're selfish at a certain point in your life. Like it's all about you. And even when it comes down to dating somebody and you want to get serious, like you really want to build a bond with someone, and I'm talking exclusivity, i.e. like this is a relationship. We have titles.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to get to that because if you're really about something, you want to make sure that whatever seed you're sowing into, it sprouts to something that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So you inadvertently hesitate a lot because you're trying not to make the wrong step.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're not making any step. So it can be very complicated when you're dating.
Are
It's
you
tough.
ready to? When was the last relationship you were in?
Ooh, that was maybe about 2 years ago.
Okay. Are you dating now?
I'm dating.
Okay. But dating, the definition of dating for some means, I think we don't communicate.
Yeah.
Because the woman, and you all correct me if I'm wrong, and Big Sarge and Demez chime in, dating for a woman is like, we're together. But the brother's like, no, we're dating and I'm seeing other women too, which is nothing wrong with that. But I think we're not communicating it. Sometimes Big Sarge?
I think for men, we imply it. You all need to hear it. You all need to hear we go together.
Is we together or is we?
You all need to, women need to hear you say it to confirm it, like we are in a relationship.
Yeah.
Men just do things to imply it, like, I'm at your house all the time. I'm, at the kids' things. I'm, changing flats, showing up to places that you need me to be, going to your work events, even though I don't like your coworkers, driving, cross town, because a lot of people don't realize you could be in the city of Houston, you could be in Houston and the surrounding areas and be in a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
From where I live to going to Clear Lake is 60 to 65 miles one way. That's a long distance relationship, and that's just, but if I drive over there, I'm showing you, hey, this is, one way. If I'm going to put 130 miles on my vehicle for just one trip, you should know how I feel about you.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. We imply it. You all need to hear it.
Demez, you? That's good.
He's exactly right. People say actions speak louder than words. That's completely the opposite in dating. Because I've seen people, this Friday's well, Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
I've seen people go all out, be romantic, just be like they in love. And on Saturday, they don't answer the phone.
Because it's National Side
Gary,
Piece Day.
why are you laughing, Gary?
Because it happens. It's so funny,
And
though.
it's like, she's sitting up there on Saturday morning in love, like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
Man, he took me to dinner, he bought me this, he did this. But
Steak 48.
that man never said one word
Yo.
Yeah.
about we in a relationship, I love you, none of that.
Yeah.
But those actions had you feeling like, yo, I'm his star.
Yeah.
And you was just open act.
Yeah.
That's because the 15th is National Side Piece Day, though.
Is it?
National.
Well, is it? I didn't. Is that a national day now?
National.
Is it really?
Yes. And you get the
In our
best deals at Kroger and Walmart.
Oh yeah, because the candy's on sale.
And the cards, and
Red
the
Lobster.
roses,
Wow.
and the teddy bears. Don't ask me how I know this. My friend told me this.
Okay,
There
but
it
let's
is.
talk about that side piece though, because that is real. You have a lot of men. You have a lot of women that will tolerate are okay with being the side piece. Are they really okay with being the side piece?
Yeah.
Demez?
In 2020, I think so. I think because I've seen women that just don't want the responsibility. And they just like having fun. As a matter of fact, a lot of these women bursting men now.
Yeah, I
they
see
just,
that a lot.
And they take pride in it. So it's like this whole concept of like, are women being taken advantage of, or they side pieces? I think a lot of them, they worse than men. They just.
You know what I think? I think a lot of women feel like there's never going to be anybody for me. I'm going to play games. They were hurt before. That's what some of it is, and I'm not going to let a man hurt me again. I think it's a lot of stuff going on, but Gary, you?
No full-time employment. They
Yeah.
want that 1099.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They want that contractual. And I mean, I think it works well for the right person
Yeah.
or people. But it goes back to communication, like we talked about earlier, right? If that's what you want to do, whether it's side piece or you just don't want to settle down and you're A-okay
Yeah.
getting time in increments from this person and that person, have the conversation.
Yeah.
Be communicative so that people
Yes.
know where you stand at all times. Then you're not out here breaking hearts.
Right.
You're not out here
That's
on
right.
the February 15th and you ghosting and stuff. You're not doing those things because you've had the conversation. People know what to expect.
Yeah. Communication is key. Oh my God. I don't know what, and Demez has been on my show several times before, and he's talked about it. Communication. We don't, even if it hurts Demez to say, you know what, I'm not ready to settle down. I don't want what you want. You have to say it, because in the long run, somebody's gonna get hurt. Just be honest from the get-go.
And when you arguing with people, the conversation's always going to come up.
Yeah.
Because they're always going to say, well, you didn't say this.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yes.
that one sentence changes a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
More side piece conversation when we get back. We're going to take a little break. This is good. More talk when we get back. The Dr. Don Love Lounge. I'm telling you.
Love Lounge.
Honey, we'll be right back. It feels so good to be back. I'm telling you. Thank you. Yeah, that's
It's on Buzz and Petty.
that's why we got. Oh yeah, I see. That's good though. Hi everybody, we are back. No judgment, just realness with the Dr. Don. We had our side piece conversation, but it was real.
It is.
I think the problem is we're talking about the pretty stuff with relationships, the wedding and all that, and 5 tips to be a happy couple, for a happy relationship. No, because under the surface we got some dirty stuff going on, stuff that's ugly, and we don't want to talk about. But you got to talk about it. Let's talk about it. We have Kenneth Hamilton here. He's not just a producer here who just joined us. Kenneth Hamilton is here. Let me read these comments. Thank you, Leslie Spikes. I like what she said. She said part of love is making sure that I help protect his health. Do we protect you all? As do we protect black men, and do black men protect black women? I've heard black women say we are not protected by our own brothers.
Ask Snoop. No.
It's situational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Very
talk about
situational.
that. I like what she said though. Yeah. Yeah. Do
don't-
we protect you? I like what she said.
If you get the right one, like Mila protected me till she took her last breath, and I mean that's with family, friends, co-workers, whoever. You know, when we, because I was her second husband, and so but she was my first wife. So, and that was from that selfishness thing we talked about earlier. I had to get that out of my system, but I mean, and it caused a lot of rift between her and her family, and even her ex-husband's family, because of the kids. And so we had a lot, but when I say she protected me in my mental health, my health, I was, I stayed full. So, she cooked all the time.
Do we protect you, Demez? Black women as a whole. Do we know how to protect? I think a lot of it is we're still trying to figure it out. I think a lot of us. Yeah. Kenneth, we're all walking around trying to figure out.
I think being married, I found myself trying not to speak my life on what other people are going through, because my wife protects me.
Oh,
you know, mentally, emotionally, all that. But it seems like it's rough out here.
It is.
You know, just the people I talk to, social
Gary,
media.
okay.
I see a lot of people that really dislike each other.
Yeah.
I say a lot of people, talking about us.
Yeah.
Like a lot of black men and women seem to like literally dislike each other. I see birthday dinner sometimes. It's like no guys there, and I'm like, bro, it's like 7 really attractive. What are guys at?
Yeah.
And the women are really like, we ain't got time for it. And it's, I don't know, man. The same thing with guys. I know a lot of guys, they hang out more with their friends than women. So I don't know. It just seems bad out there, and I don't know how it gets better for y'all.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interject, but I'm sorry, Gary, but
No, you good.
I'm gonna say this is that the buzzword now is being emotionally available, and it's hard to be emotionally available if we just been dating a week and a half to a month and a half.
Yeah.
And so I believe that when it comes to women, and I want to say African American women, sometimes you don't, because you want us to be open and honest with you from the jump. But as men, we are protective of our feelings just like you are protective of your feelings and your body.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to give it to you right in the beginning. We're not going to be emotional. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think there is a man that's emotionally available within like the first month or two.
Yeah. Kenneth and Gary.
Well, I mean, from a single perspective, are we protected? I think you can be. I think you can find the right woman and be in a very healthy situation. In general, we all are in our own corners, as what y'all talk about when you go out and like the mayor says, you'll see a table, 15 women, and this it's just that. You'll see the fellas get together and do this, and we're in our separate corners like boxers. And I think that there's comfortability in those places, because you have to become vulnerable when you're trying to get to know someone or let someone know you.
Right.
And a lot of times we've been in situations that have taught us to build up these walls.
Yeah.
So who has the momentum and desire to run through and destroy that wall? You really have to find the right person so that you can start to build something and start to connect with that other person and give of yourself so that you can receive.
Yeah. That's good. Kenneth?
So when I said earlier situational, when it comes to protecting, one thing you need to know is how to protect.
Yes.
Because you can just go in and say, I'm going to protect you, but you don't know how to be geared up to protect this person. So yes, we do have to make ourselves emotionally available on both ends. Women are more easier than that because they're natural nurturers.
Yeah.
Men, back in the day, the baby boomers, we were taught to never show emotions. But now, as we're coming to millennial phase, and as I teach my own boys, be emotional, but don't be too emotional to where you can't manage a situation.
Yeah.
Because you're the leader of the household.
Yeah.
You need to know how to manage the emotions to be able to speak clearly and enunciate clearly, rather than just saying, I don't know how to feel. I don't know. Just understand where I'm coming from. Well, talk to me more without all the emotion to be able to know how can I protect you.
I think, do black women, okay, we always hear how to love a man, but it's different how to love a black man, I believe. And this is just Dr. Don's opinion. I believe loving a black man, we're going to have more patience. You're going to have to understand he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he's dealing with things that the white man doesn't have to deal with. And we as women, as black women, we're strong, but when he comes in and you're talking about where are the bills and why didn't you, again, that's just me. Is it different loving a man than a black man?
I don't know.
Or is it all the same? What do you think?
I don't know for me, because I guess I'm different. Because my wife was half.
And there's no right or wrong answer. Yeah.
My wife was, half Anglo, half African American.
Okay.
And so even though she was militant, but she still had both those in him. So I look at it differently. I'm a man who, I don't just look at it as being a black woman, being a white woman, being a Hispanic woman. I just look at women are women to me. And so I don't look at it from that aspect. So I know that I can't be the subject matter expert on what you just asked, because I date, different races of women.
Oh, okay. That's another show. Right? And there's nothing wrong. But see, you're on. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You're not less black, and this is our Black History Month. Yeah, I didn't do a Black History. This is it. But there's nothing wrong. Thank you, Demez. Is it different loving a black man, or is it all the same?
I've never dated anything but black women.
Okay.
And we were out to dinner the other night, and we were at a restaurant in Midtown. We were the only black couple. And that was the issue. And it was something really small, right? And if I would have been there with anybody else but a black woman, she wouldn't have understood what either one of us kind of like laughed about.
Okay.
Because it wasn't inherent, it wasn't disrespectful, but it was just enough to where you noticed it. And I remember we laughed about it afterwards, but we were comfortable with each other because it's really no other way to explain it. Sometimes when you with a black woman and something is happening and y'all the only two there, and the older we get, I'm realizing that a lot of places we're going to, we tend to be the only two there. And it's just like, I know how I feel, just feeling like, we together, we in this together. So I gotta imagine that she feels the same way. And I have to imagine it's different. I mean, like I said, that question is kind of weird because I'm not a black woman, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But I do get.
But I think we have to understand what you all go through. And again, we talk about emotions. You as black men are not raised to share your emotions, but we have to understand how we love you. We need to be more, I think, insightful, patient, and we have to understand. Am I right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, because not so. Now, if you want to categorize it, loving a black man, that's something that's that's in its own realm entirely. But if you look down into it, whether it's black, Mexican, Anglo-Saxon, whatever, the fact is that a man still has certain needs, just period, no matter the race. And so, like my man right here, I've dated several races before, from Bangladesh to Italian to Polish to black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, all that. However, the basis still follows is that this man still needs somebody to stand in his corner and still fight for him, to still be a great support, still be most importantly a great helpmeet. So now when you come to talking about a black man, then that's something that's a learned experience, and that's something that the black man has to teach whoever he's dealing with how to love me as a black man. But love me as a man, here it is. It's point blank period.
Okay. Lynn says, I like what Lynn says. She said, this is true. However, my husband knew he wanted me and that I was going to be his wife on the first date. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Gary hasn't found that. I like that, Lynn.
We might not know
I
that.
proposed to my wife, I think I proposed to her in 3 months.
Wow, yeah.
Because
if you know, right?
One thing I know as a man, like I said, from my opinion, one thing I know as a man is that, the word of God always said, let your yes be yes, let your no be no. So one thing I know for sure is that if I can see this woman, being with this woman, and see myself as growing a future with this woman, then why wait 10 years to be able to say I do?
Yeah.
You know, I need to say I do. I need to plan and say I do and get ready to, you know, just do it that way. But well, we've together 10 years and then get married. We've been together 15 years, but only married for 2.
Yeah.
So it took you 17 years to decide if you really want to do this?
Yeah.
I mean, it don't take me that long to buy a car.
Yeah.
So why did it take you that long to marry somebody? It's an investment nonetheless.
Yeah.
I was the same way too. I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie and say that I knew that I wanted to marry Mila right off the bat, but I knew that after our first date, I knew that I wanted to be with her for a very long time because, you know, she was in town when we met. She was in town for a conference, so she was staying at a hotel. She invited me over. We stood outside in the front and talked. And then she invited me up because she's like, look, the Lakers and the Rockets about to play. I like you, but I'm not finna sit out here and talk to you. And she's a Rockets fan.
Yeah.
She's a Rockets fan. She's like, my team is playing. She's like, you want to come up? So we went upstairs, laid in the bed and watched the game together. I fell asleep, woke up and left. And I said, you know what? I didn't try to make a move on her. She didn't try to make a move on me. I just got up and left. And I said, you know what? I think that I felt comfortable from that day, and we moved forward.
Gary, I got a different question for you as a single brother. But Demez, I want to know, what was it about Totally Randy Bell that you said something's different about her than the other women?
Okay, well, congratulations to these 2 guys. But yeah, that ain't my life. You know, we met and she was cool.
Yeah.
She was cool, like a cool person. We talked, we worked together, we was good professionally, but she wasn't what I was looking for in a woman, and I was nothing she was looking for in a guy. We just had complete opposite personalities.
Yeah.
I'm laid back, I'm quiet, I'm super like, let's get business done and bounce. I don't really want to socialize.
Yeah.
And she is all of the other things.
Yeah.
So we would go on dates and it's like, yo, I'm ready to go, or why you ready to go? We arguing and going back and forth. And then it's 3 o'clock in the morning and, you know, we eat hamburgers and laughing about something. And I'm like, are we crazy?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you just really don't know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it wasn't 6 months. It was about 3 years.
Wow.
But of like dating and getting to know each other and all of those good things. But I always knew I wanted her in my life.
Yeah.
So that was the one consistent we had. You know, we was always friends. We always hung out.
Yeah.
We never strayed too far from each other. And then when serious events started happening in our lives, I'm like, yo, we here for each other.
Yeah.
And you look up and you're like, she's not the kind of woman that's gonna let you wait to marry her.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not that you're doing it because you have to. It's that you're doing it because you're like, why am I waiting anyway? So yeah, I can't speak for 3 months, but you know, I you know.
Thank you, Thesia. Thank you, Ebony. Good evening, Gary. This is a question I have for you.
What
Single, fine black brother.
I appreciate that.
No, and I don't make that up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if you were, I'd be like,
Why your voice changed?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Go
but
ahead.
I'm just saying. Here we got Gary,
Love lounge voice.
good looking, fine black man, successful, not married. Do women think they can make you get ready? You know, because don't you think sometimes women are like, well, if I cook for him every day, he's gonna. If he says he's not ready, if he shows you he's not ready,
I'm a chef.
you
I
need
ain't
to
gotta
move
worry about
on.
that.
Well, yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
I'll
But
say-
but you know, these women, if I cook for him, if I
Yeah.
clean his house, all this, but
So I think that's an interesting thing, right? I remember Pastor Mia Wright over at the Fountain of Praise making a statement one day. It's true that a man who finds a wife finds a good thing,
Yeah.
but she said you had to position yourself as
Yes.
a woman. You got to position yourself to be found.
yeah,
I think some women may forget that you have to put yourself in position for a man to choose you. And what does that position looks like? It depends on the person, right? But I know the things that I like. If a woman positions herself and is aligned and is parallel with those things, I'm going to spend time with her. It's just that simple. It's not rocket science. And
I
I've
like that.
studied rocket science.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's literally just that simple. If we can be parallel on things, we can spend all the time in the world. And if that's my love language, which it is,
Yeah.
right? Quality time is important to me as well as physical touch. Then now we're speaking similarly. And if I understand yours, I mean, it could become a match made in heaven.
yeah. Because positioning yourself for Kenneth is going to be different than what Gary likes, what
Exactly.
Kenneth finds sexy, Demez finds sexy, Brian finds sexy. Let's talk about kids.
I'm allergic, child. I don't know.
Oh, me too. I start getting hives when I think they're so cute. But
I'll
you
say
know,
this though.
yeah.
One
but,
of the
yeah.
best relationships I ever had in my life
Yeah.
was with a woman with a child.
Yeah.
And I was so scared to date a woman with kids. I did not want to do it.
Yeah.
I was literally like, I would pivot
Yeah.
away from that.
Yeah.
But the first time I did it, changed my life. I was at violin recitals, and I was
Yes.
at soccer matches, and it was something so nurturing about that woman
Yeah.
that
That she
I had
takes care of
never
her, yeah.
experienced before dating other women.
Yeah.
That it made me so appreciative of a woman with a child.
Yeah.
Totally changed my perspectives.
Yeah. I think when God brings me the man He has for me, I want to give birth. But right now, it hadn't happened yet. But anyway,
what?
that's what.
It's
I
a
think
little
kids
tough
are.
for me.
Okay,
The reason
why?
why I say that is
Why?
because, I don't really. I've dated women with children. I've dated women without children. I'm married to a woman that has 6 children. I have my own. That's 1.
Yeah.
But whether they're nurturers or not, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's the same thing. I go back to making an investment. You want to marry this woman. Boom,
Yeah.
there you go. Then you see her with her children. If you want to marry her, you want to take everything that's on with her. The good, the bad, the children. And remember, the children are concentrated forms of her.
Yes.
So you got to know how to deal with her and then also deal with the children. So my wife has 6 kids.
Yeah.
So I got 6 personalities. Plus my wife got her own.
Amen.
We love it though.
We
Amen.
love her though.
Yeah.
But one thing I know is that when she told me that she had 6 kids, I stared dead in her face and I looked, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, what's next?
Okay.
And, and then after that she was like, most guys they were either ran for it or they took the thing head on and was like, you know what, I realize it's not for me.
Yeah.
But, coming from a family where I was the only boy, my dad was in my life my whole time. I take my dadship seriously.
Yes.
I've been raising kids since I was 10. My sister had my nephew at 18. I was 8 years old when she had him.
Okay.
And so when I've been taking care of kids for a long time. So just having that experience, but knowing that kind of bond that you can share with a child, and also with the mother, I'm lost for words with that.
Yeah.
But I would always, even if I had to do it all over again, I'll say yes again
Yeah.
to any woman that has kids. To if you don't have kids, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Kathy Kathy says he's allergic to kids. Me too. That might be a man. Yeah. Okay.
I see you.
Ebony
see
says
you.
that is what I am being taught. Must position yourself.
Come
Ladies,
on.
thank you for the comments. This is what we want to learn from these brothers.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about, let's talk to the women who have children. Because Brian here, Mila had 4 children. And people, we make no judgments about
I
that.
feel your pain.
Yeah, I got me.
Because
Oh
it's-
yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Because there's too many judgments going on about baby mom. I hate that term, and I like that we're using bonus children, not stepchildren. These are bonus children. These are gifts from God. But let's talk about the women who think, oh, I can't get a good man because I have kids. That really saddens me. It makes me sad because I'm like, there is a good man for you who's going to love you and your children. Hold out, Brian, and then I want to hear from Demez.
Well, just like what Kenneth said. Kenneth, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right, just like what Kenneth said. Kenneth, he reminded me a lot of myself because when when Mila and I went out on a date, and as we went further along, I knew she had 4 kids.
Yeah.
And you can't help who you fall in love with.
Yeah.
Like that is something you can totally not control, no matter what the situation is. And so in the beginning, she thought that she had too many kids. And I'm saying to myself, and I'm gonna be honest with you, we keeping it 100. That's keeping it 100.
Yeah, we are.
It's a bonus for a man if all the kids are by at least 1 or 2. But you start getting multiples, no. So my wife had 4 kids from a previous marriage. So I was like, that's good.
Okay.
And as we went on, I started to find myself, just like he said, it's a multiple personality. So I may get 2 to act right, and then these other 2 ain't gonna act right. Then I get 3 to act right, I'm not gonna get this one to act right. And so, Mila did think that in the beginning that was gonna run me off. But what that did was that made me a better person. And it's what I needed because my dad wasn't in my life. But you couldn't tell. Like when I was in the Army, we were stationed in Germany. Everybody in Germany thought those were my kids.
Okay.
It's like, hey man, I seen your son at the, I seen your daughter at the such, because they didn't know anything outside of that's his dad, and to the point they called me dad. So I can, like even now, as I'm starting over with my life, I can date a woman with kids quicker than I can date a woman with pets.
Oh, that's this nasty. Yeah. Some of that is nasty. And look, and that's another topic. I know you'll, potluck. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. But Demez, when should, and then Gary, we talk about communication. When should you have the conversation? I have children. Because some women don't want, they're like, oh, I'm ashamed. No, you got to let them know.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird, man. Like look, these are some really outstanding guys because when I was single, if she had 1.2, I'm like, yo, I don't know.
Yo.
And
But
these-
it's honesty.
yeah, no, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you because I didn't have any.
Yeah.
I didn't have any, and I was good with my life.
Yeah.
And I know that like children are a responsibility,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna play with you because you have children.
Oh yes.
So if I'm not ready for that responsibility, I'm not even gonna put myself in a position to be like, let's go on a bunch of dates.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just not gonna happen. And like I said, I don't know if that would have changed had I got older and I wasn't married and I met a woman with several children. Maybe it would have changed.
Yeah.
But at the age I was when I was single, I just wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't lie to a woman and lead her on.
Decia says, yes, kids are a blessing. Latasha Nicole Bearfield, obviously your relative, says, well spoken, Brian. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, Gary, when we should have the conversation in the beginning, but I want you to talk to the women who have children, Brian, and all of you really, who have children who think, I'm not going to find
I know
anybody.
it's definitely
Yeah.
doable. I mean, let me know in that DM
Yeah.
though. When
Yeah.
you DM me,
Yeah.
I need to know what's going on. But like I said, in my experience, plus I'm older now. A child is a blessing, and there's something magical
Absolutely.
about sowing into someone. And when you're doing it with love and with kindness, and you want the best for this child,
Yes.
like that's just an added benefit to that woman.
Yeah.
Like, and even though I jokingly, like,
Yeah.
you know, 1.2 or higher, like we've got to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You talking deuce and a quarter on these kids? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is a blessing. It is a added benefit, and
Yeah.
it could hurt you
Yeah.
because some men do not want to deal with that. They want to be focused on you, and they can sow into you. But a child as a added package, some men aren't capable
That's
of being
right.
able to handle that. They may not want children of their
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
So why would they knowingly date you?
But I think, again, it's honesty. Sister, if you know he has 3 children and you don't want any children, you need to just say, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
This is not going to work. If you have to know. So, Kenneth, I want to hear from you a little bit about, because, Niecy, and I love Niecy, because Niecy has a testimony.
Yeah.
She has a testimony.
Oh, yeah.
An amazing testimony, but people can judge. How do you handle when people want to judge your wife? Oh, she has 6 kids. Oh, because, again, the protector.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you, yeah.
I want all the smoke that comes
Yeah.
from her.
Because somebody, you said it when we were on Amber Neal's show, somebody made the comment and tried to get smart with her about something.
Yeah.
And you were like,
And so I'm sitting here listening, and you guys are awesome. First of all, I love every last one of y'all brotherhoods.
Yeah.
It's so many that's a loaded question, and I'm trying to see how I can compact it. So, women that say, okay, I can't get a good man because I have kids. All right. Just try to keep up with me now. So here's the thing. So a lot of women have issues with that because me being a spiritual guy, I know one thing: the man is the head of the household.
Yeah.
One thing women always want, they want a man they want a man in their life to kind of come over and not just take over, but kind of manage things. But they don't want to let go. And one thing of letting go, you have to learn how to let go to a man that automatically wants to come over and take over.
Yeah.
Because we have that spirit. So the women needs to have the certain level of discernment. Okay, cool. Can I trust him to let go? And if you can't, then move on. Now with the children, back in the Bible days, the men raised the children. The men were always there taking care of the children, taking them to war, learn how to do agriculture, things like that. And so these women fail to see that. And and then they want to sit here and make their kids their son, their king, but here you are asking for a king.
Yes, you cannot. Yes, I think that's a mistake.
And 2 lions can't leave
Come
a
on.
mountain.
Yeah.
So automatically he coming in have to fight with somebody that he has no chance with because that's an offspring.
Yeah.
So that's the reason ladies need to look at them themselves. Now, circling back around.
Yeah.
Women need to, and I'm not bashing women at all.
No.
My woman has 6 children, and yes, she has 6 children by 6 different men, but she has her own story.
Yes.
And it's already out there. You can Google her, Niecy
Yeah.
Hamilton. But
And she says, "Come on, Kenneth Hamilton, speak."
All those kids.
Yeah.
They call me dad. Every last one of them, from Justin being 16 to Michaela being 4.
Yeah.
And with them coming in, and also her second husband, she's been married 3 times. I'm the 4th husband, and the second husband, me and him are like best friends.
Wow.
And so one thing you have to realize is that as women, learn how to let go, number one. Learn when to let go, number two. And also, when you ask for it, be ready for what you get.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because you don't pray to God, send me a husband, whatever, because Ruth didn't say send me a husband.
That's right.
She was out there gleaning and Boaz was like,
She
Let
was
me get that.
working.
Let
She
me
was
get that right there.
working.
because the word says man findeth the wife. He got to find
Let's
you.
answer this
Be in a
question.
position to get found.
That's good. Thank you for that. No, I mean that. But I have to answer that. This is a good question, and I want you all to respond. Theseus says, what about dating or marrying a woman who is unable to have children?
That's cool.
Wow. Gary, you're okay.
Real rap. That's how simple it is.
Thank
so
you.
it
That's
comes
good.
back to what does that man want?
Yeah.
If I don't want kids, or I'm okay not having kids, or I'm okay adopting, are you?
This is another question, Demez. People put a lot of pressure on couples to have children.
We had our son, he's 15 months,
Yeah.
15, 16 months, give or take. The week after we had him,
Yeah.
we started getting he need a sibling.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that it has not stopped
Yeah.
for 16 months straight,
Wow.
every week or so, every family gathering, you need a sibling, you need a sibling. And I'm like, we don't sleep now.
Yeah.
And that's just one. It's both our first one. And I'm like, this is wild. Y'all gotta chill. This ain't y'all business.
Yeah.
But something he said is really, look, some women are just impressive, right? So whether she has 3 kids by 3 different guys, or no kids or can't have kids, some women are just impressive.
Yeah.
You meet them and they're just cool. They're impressive. You just want to be around them.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times when I hear women say, I might not be able to find a good guy because I have kids, I really want to ask her, like, were you that sought after when you didn't have kids? I mean, just a simple question.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't really,
That's a good one.
popular, if guys were trying to get at you when you didn't have kids, don't put that on them babies. 'Cause,
Yeah.
don't nobody want
Wow.
you. Because some of these
Wow.
women out here got plenty of kids. There's plenty of guys blowing them up.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Don. I was gonna say that it also depends on if I'm dating you and you're bringing kids into the relationship. What type of relationship do you have with their father?
Oh, yes.
Because if it's one of those relationships where he's constantly in your life, not just for the kids, if he's always constantly bothering you, then I do have an issue. The one thing that I loved about, Mila, she told me right up front, hey, look, I can't stand my ex-husband, but he's the father of my kids. And I said, I would never stop that. And that's the thing, I never badmouthed their father not one time while we were in the house at all. I was like, listen, if you love your daddy, love your daddy. But I brought a child into the relationship as well. And she also knew that, the mother of my child, the only time we communicate, we communicate by email.
Yeah.
So that's the only time we talked about was for the child. And so I think that when you're trying to have a blended family, you got to also look at the relationship of the person to have the child with.
We got to take a break. One of our favorite followers says, niece, Kenneth Hamilton, baby, you are so strong. And you are my king. My king. And that's another
Love you
show.
too, baby.
The man God has for you don't belong to somebody else, but that's another show. Hallelujah. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Brian is a widower. We are going to talk about dating a man who is a widower. And then he's We'll be right back. We'll take a 30-second break, y'all. 20 seconds, Michael. Thank you. We'll be right back, y'all.
Girl.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but the Dr. Dawn, no judgment, just realness. This is Love Lounge. Good conversation. We have Brian, aka Big Sarge. We have Demez White. We have Gary Lee, and we have Kenneth Hamilton. I tell you, this conversation is so good. Gary might let us stay another hour.
I mean, we'll talk about it.
Hey,
Hey,
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Okay, we mean on Facebook Live.
Okay, cool.
Not on Sphere Time. Anyway, but Brian we've been having really good conversation, but I want to switch gears. Brian O, thank you, Thesia. She says, great show, Dr. Dawn. God bless you, Thesia. Thank you all for watching. It really means the world to me, seriously. Yeah. But Brian is a widower. Mila has passed. Has it been 2 years?
Yeah, going on 3 years.
Going on 3 years.
Yeah.
We're going how to date a widower. It's patience. Are you in a place of healing, counseling, therapy?
Yeah,
ready to date?
I am, and the thing is, what I've been running into is a lot of women who want what Mila and I had, because you can Google us and everything about us is online. Yeah. And I did that on purpose, for the memories, for her kids, and for the grandbabies that we have. We got 2 grandbabies that never met her.
Oh,
so they can go on and see her. They're going to feel a spirit. And so, but women, that I've talked to or tried to date, they want what Mila and I had, but it was like that was 10 years worth of what we had together. Yeah. And that's what Mila and I had. Let's have what you and I are going to have. The problem comes in though is that I dealt with a young lady who couldn't get past, who was afraid of the ghost. The ghost of Mila. I was like, she's not even here. Yeah. And why are we still having these conversations about her and she's not even here? So that's the problem that I run into. And I always give the advice to anybody that's going to date a widow or a widower. You've got to allow that space for them to still have that memory of the one that they lost, because they didn't get a divorce. They got a divorce you can reconcile. Yeah. My wife passed away in my arms. Wow. She ain't never coming back. And so you got to allow me that time. And sometimes I may sit up and start drifting. I may see something on TV. I may smell something. Right. So,
Demez,
how were you? I guess I'm confused about something. When you say that she was, I guess, asking you about your wife, or sort of, was it arguments, or was it more like, you need to let this go?
No. It wasn't that you need to let this go. It was more like, I want you to commit to me like you had with Mila. Because everything is so public, females, when they start talking to me, they know who I am. They'll go on and they'll Google or they'll go on social media, and then they start saying like, well, wow, I mean, look at this. He's making sure, my wife was in a wheelchair. She had oxygen, and we treated, like I said, we make videos. We treated like we were, every day. Nothing was wrong. We still argue. I was like, I know you've been diagnosed with death, but I'm not going to treat you like you're dying. And so if we'll go on, we'll have disagreements on Facebook Live. And so that's what they want. And I'm like, you got to build up to that, though.
Well, I feel like that's a blessing in disguise for you to get away from the women, because they lack common sense.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, I know a lot of stuff, needs to be like romanticized and serious, but sometimes stuff is just common sense.
Yeah.
You lose somebody you love at a young age.
Yeah.
Why are you even bringing that woman up? It's okay if he wants to vent to her and talk to her, but to have her even mention their relationship in a way that's almost like envious, that's just clown behavior.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why this man ain't calling you back. It's because you're a clown. Yeah. And we don't call enough people clowns for being clowns.
I think so.
And,
I think you're right.
He just, like, that bothers me, bro, because that's just common sense.
Yeah.
And, we got to start using more common sense in our dating lives.
Yeah. Well, what common sense ain't so common, like Grandma used to say. Yeah. And but thank you for sharing that. Yeah. But I don't think, and this is just the Dr. Dawn, I don't think you should not have her picture on your profile. I don't think you should not share videos. I think it would be something wrong. If I'm dating you and you tell me, oh, my wife passed, and I don't see anything or not that I would think something's wrong, I would just have some questions. So the fact you share, you let them know from the get-go. This is who she was, and you're going to have to be patient.
And you have a lot of widows and widowers who jump right back into something because they're afraid to be alone.
Yeah.
They don't want to be alone, but they haven't grieved or healed. And see, the thing was, so when Mila was, in the process of, going through what she was going through, like I always say, she was diagnosed with death. They told her she had 6 months to live. I got 23 months out of that. And so And the morning that she passed away, I was getting ready to take her to a hospice. Actually, she was like, "No, over my dead body, I'm not leaving my house."
Yeah.
And so, but I would. Mila and I would. She said, I want you to date. I want you to be with somebody else." She's like, "You're a good guy. I don't want you to grow old by yourself."
Yeah.
And she says, "If I'm not here physically, I don't need you. If I'm not here physically, I don't need you on earth dying physically because I'm not here. You need to continue to live your life." And that's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong.
Gary and hold on. Amy Taylor, she says you can't be jealous of a ghost. That's good stuff. I'm telling you all, the spirit, I'm feeling, and you all know I don't fake this, like the spirit of these brothers on this show giving you this transparency right now. If you're not taking this in, my God. Kenneth, Gary, anything you want to say?
I can't follow that.
Yeah. Just
It's
anything.
real.
I mean,
because
it happens.
It's a real life situation.
Yeah.
And I think there is a fear, and I can speak from a single perspective from someone who's not married. There's a fear that you will grow old alone.
Yeah.
And that's something that as a man that I have to cope with. I deal with. I think about that daily because if you never make a decision, then what are you doing?
You think about it daily.
You think about it daily. I think about legacy. When the stuff we build, you create as an entrepreneur, what are you building? Who are you leaving it for? When you don't have any kids, you don't have a wife. So there are things that internally I have to wrestle with each and every day simply because I am single.
Thesia, thank you, Thesia. She says healing is necessary. Yeah.
And it's hard.
You have to be ready to date, though. You have to be ready.
Yes,
Ryan.
and so that's what I was going to say is that it's hard because it's hard to get a woman to date. Before I even came here, before I even got in the car to head over here, I was sitting down, putting my shoes on, and I start crying because I lost my wife, and then 15 months later I lost my mom.
Yes.
So like I said, my wife died in my arms. My mom died when I was on the air. I took a commercial break to a voicemail say your mama died.
Wow.
And so I deal with the two closest women in my life, my best friends. So like I said, I was putting on my shoes and it just hit me. Because I'm there by myself. And then some of those memories run through. But I need a woman to be able to understand I'm going to have those moments and don't get jealous of that. Understand it.
Like Demez said, that was a blessing in disguise. When we come back, we're going to take a break. And we're going to go into our final segment with these brothers, hearing what they have to say on love and relationships. The Dr. Don, No Judgment, Just Realness, Love Lounge. We will be back. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Thank you.
I wasn't going to cry on you, I promise.
And if you cried, that's okay. Right?
Now you go first.
All right. The Dr. Don Love Lounge, I tell you, Big Sarge, Demez White, Gary Lee, I was almost going to call him Niecy Hamilton. Kenneth Hamilton.
Well, we're one.
Yeah, y'all are one. But this has been really good. I think this has really been good. We're getting good feedback, good comments. I want to thank you all who are on Facebook Live for watching. I tell you, God told me the people to bring in this show. I want to hear, starting with you, Ken, final comments on love, relationships, whatever you want to say.
So it's to the men, I'll be open and honest about your feelings. Number one, it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show emotion. It's okay to do that. You're showing transparency. Yeah. Because it's strength. It's the Word of God says there is strength and meek. There's strength and meekness. Meekness means strength under control. Yeah. And it's okay to be meek. But and to the women, if you're gonna pray for something that you've been asking for, remember, God doesn't give you what you ask for. He gives you the opportunity of what you ask for. So if you pray for a man, he gives you the opportunity to go get a man. Yeah. And then if you just shoot the opportunity down, and then you shot yourself in the foot. Yeah. But always be open, be honest, communicate.
I like that. That's good. Gary, you?
Now, I like what you just said. And I would say, and don't take our meekness for weakness.
Exactly.
Because this is a different story. To the ladies, we love y'all. We support y'all. We here for y'all. This is what we do. This is Love Lounge. I mean, Valentine's Day is coming up, ladies. Yeah. Make sure you get it right. If you don't get that text from the right guy, it's okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Continue to position yourself, though.
Right.
You gotta stay positioned, because if you want something and you want him to want you, get parallel with that man, right? Make sure you understand what's going on, and make sure he's willing to sow into you the same way you're willing to sow into him. Position yourself, ladies. Love Lounge.
And I'm glad you touched on that because I always tell women, make sure you have the qualities you're asking for.
Come on.
And let's be real about it. You want a man who's in shape, who works out. If you 100 pounds overweight and he's not attracted to women who are, I'm just saying, or you want a man with a credit score that's high and you know you got credit cards calling out your name. Come on. You need to get some things straight.
Get equally yoked.
Am I right about it? You want him to make money, to make 6 figures and work. What are you bringing to the table? You know, we didn't even get to talk about equally yoked. We didn't get to talk about, oh my God, so much good stuff. Demez.
All the guys out there, stop being cowards, right? Stop with the DMs and being afraid to approach women. Yeah. Go to a restaurant, go to a grocery store, walk up to her, introduce yourself, say hello, compliment her, get her number. It works. Yeah. And to the women, you cannot get a man at home. You cannot get a man behind these social media walls. Stop being mean. It's okay to talk to people. It's okay to be nice to people. It's some creeps out there, but sometimes you got to kiss a couple frogs to get a prince. So both of y'all need to chill out and just go love each other.
My God, Brian.
Hey, listen, learn.
And hold on, we on 15.
Yeah,
I know you like to tell. Yeah, let's.
Mine, I know that's why you made me go last. Learn, and mine's short, sweet. Learn to love yourselves before you start giving out your love.
That's a gem.
Love you or nobody else will. I tell you, this was the Dr. Don Love Lounge. All I have to say is, in these last few seconds, is these brothers gave wisdom. They gave truth. God bless each and every one of you. And I know God will continue. I'm telling you, and ladies, I hope you listen. Brothers, I hope you learn something from it. I learned something. Because every time I talk to men, I learn something about myself too. You know, and one of the things I learned, I had to turn boss chick off, but I learned that. And I know I would be a good wife to the man God has for me. But I want to say God bless you. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Sphere.
Hey.
Thank you, Sphere. Thank you, Sphere. And God bless you all. Have a good night. Good stuff.